Yes, yes, yes. We can go on with the page. It is the pilgrim. See, this is the poem vocation, and what will happen? I will explain you this poem now. Correct? Now, everyone can see this book. Is it visible to you all? Yes or
Yes,
no?
teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Yes, very good. So now the book is visible to you all and you can see, right? So what the poet is saying that a person who sells something, yes, a person who sells something, does he has any road? Has he any road for going here or there? Does he? He has no road to take. He can go on any road, any way, wherever he likes, wherever he wants, and he can sell his bangles. So he says, the poet says that there is nothing to hurry him on. He doesn't have to hurry fast. He doesn't have to go anywhere. He has to sell his bangles. So as slow he will go, he'll sell more bangles over there. And there is no road he must take because there is no specific road which he has to take, and he has to
Yes.
go here or there. No place he must go to. So there is there any specific place for the seller, for the hawker? No. He can go anywhere, any place to sell his bangles wherever people wants him to come. No time when he must come home. So he has time to leave his home, but he doesn't have any time to come back home, return back home. Is there? Sometimes if the bangles are sold fast, he will go home very fast. Whereas if the bangles are not sold fast, he will keep on roaming and moving here and there. And searching that
Yes,
if
teacher.
yes, someone who wants to purchase the bangles or take the bangle, buy some bangles from him. So I wish I were a hawker spending my day in the road frying bangles, crystal bangles. So what the poet said to spend the whole day in that road, and he wants to cry. He wants to shout. Okay, crying means shouting aloud. Yes, and saying that bangles, crystal bangles, these are the bangles, and they are crystal bangles. So he wanted to be like that hawker. When at 4 in the afternoon I come back from the school, now what he says, when I come back from school at 4 o'clock, I can see though the gardener digging the ground. Now what he says, first he saw the hawker. Every day he used to meet that hawker and see him selling the bangles and going home. He said that I wanted to be like him, but when I return at 4 o'clock, so every day he used to come at 4. So he used to go at 10 o'clock, come back at 4 o'clock from his school. So while coming home back, he used to see the gardener. Who's the gardener? Who looks after the garden, who cleans the garden, okay, who digs the garden. So all these things are looked after by the gardener. Yes. Now he does want, he likes with his spade. He soils his clothes with dust. Nobody takes him to task. Correct? So, what he says that he does whatever he likes. Yes, he cleans the garden, he just digs the ground. All unwanted grass is taken off by him, cleared by him. He does whatever he wants. He spades. He soils his clothes with dust. Now see, whenever this person is digging the soil or the ground or doing something in mud and taking care of this garden, what will happen? His
Yes,
clothes
teacher.
will get dirty. Yes, his clothes will
Dirty.
get dirty and they will have mud or dust on them, and nobody takes
Soil is
him to
sticky.
task. So nobody will take him to any task, nobody will ask him anything. Yes, nobody will ask him anything or take him to the task. He will be alone, he'll be happy. And I wish I were a gardener digging away at the garden with no task. I wish I were a gardener digging away at the garden with no task. That are where there is no digging required and Yes. Sorry, digging is required, but what he wants to do, he wants to do the digging. Okay, as the gardener is digging the ground and the soil, he also wants to dig away the garden with nobody stopping him. Yes, teacher, they stop you from playing or doing some mischief in the schools, right? So this poet, he says that I
Yes.
don't want to be stopped by anyone. I don't want to be stopped by anyone. I just want to be there and I want to work on my own as I feel. So he wants to first he wants to become the hawker. The second wish was he wanted to become a gardener. Now the third. Now what he
Gardener.
says, just as it gets dark in the evening and my mother sends me to bed. Now the third thing, what he says, that when it is becoming dark, when it's going on dark and it is late evening or night and I have to go to bed, my mother sends me to bed. Correct? Everyone, you go to bed, your mother sends you to the bed.
Yes.
Do you go or no? Yes, you go
Yes.
to the bed because your mother sends you to the bed. Same way, his mother also sends him to the bed. And when he goes to the bed, who is there? Who blows the
Watchman.
whistle when you go to bed?
Watchman.
Watchman, correct. Very
Watchman.
good. So he looks after you all. He takes care of your security. Your society is secured or not, whether there is no robber, no person who's taking anything, no one entering late. Yes, and everything is all right. The lights, water, everything is all right. So that is the watchman who looks after your area at night. So now he says that I can see through my open window. Now he is in his bedroom and he can see from his window. Okay, the window which is there in his bedroom, he can see from there. And from there, what he sees a watchman who's walking up and down. The lane is dark and lonely. Now, how is the lane?
Dark.
How is the lane? Lane means the street. Okay. How is the lane? It is dark.
Dark.
It is lonely. Lonely means very calm and quiet. There's no one. And the street lamp stands like a giant with one red eye in its head. Okay. So he is describing the street light as if there is a giant, okay, as a giant is person who's very huge and very big. So like a giant, this street lamp is standing over there with his one red eye. That means there is a bulb or a big light. Yes, there is a
Yes.
big light.
Pearl.
Yes, yes, a bulb or a light, a big light which is there, and then what happens to it? It is on. So he is describing this light, street lamp, as a giant, and the light as a one red eye of on that giant's head. Correct? The watchman swings his lantern and walks with his shadow at his side, and never once goes to bed in his life. Now, how is the watchman? Have you seen the watchman walking around with a torch or a lantern?
Yes. Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what this poet says, that the watchman, he has lantern in his hand and he's swinging it. Swinging means moving through to and fro. So then this person, this watchman, he swings his lantern in his hand, takes that in his hand and walks through the whole street and the shadow at its side. Yes. Then never once goes to bed in his life. Does he sleep at night? Is the watchman the person who sleeps at night? No, he never sleeps at night.
No.
He keeps on walking, sitting, checking all the things. Okay. So now what the poet says at the last, that I wish I were a watchman walking the street all night, chasing the shadow with my lantern. So his last wish is that he wanted to become a watchman who is
Watchman.
walking through the street. Which street? The place where you live. So he is walking through the street all over the night. And what he wants to do? Chasing means? What do you mean by chasing?
Saran.
Following, following and
Following. Very good.
imaginary
Who told this? Following?
Shaista.
Shaista. Very good, Shaista. So chasing means following. So he wants to follow his shadow with his lantern in his hand, and he wants to become, the last wish is that he wants to become a watchman. Correct? Now, who's going to tell me the summary of the poem if you understood it? Come on, who will tell me? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. How many hands? Very good. Shams, yes, tell me the meaning of the whole poem. Yes, this is the poem. What is the meaning of the poem? Come on, tell me.
Yes.
What yes? Come on, speak.
And and I walk to school by overland. टीचर जब टीचर इन हिंदी
Hmm. Not in
टीचर इन
Hindi, in
हिंदी
English only you have to tell me the summary of the whole
ओके
poem.
टीचर
What is the poet
ओके टीचर
saying? What is he wishing? No, you have to speak in English. Give me
ओके
a
टीचर
summary of that poem.
इन in 10 o'clock of morning when he walked to school every day one
Hmm.
hawker is crying on road bangle Christian
Hmm.
bangle there is nothing hurry to him
Hmm.
he is
Yes. What else?
there is no road and no place he must go
Yes,
no
come on, say.
no time to go home and I wish I
Very
could
good.
be the hawker and whole day I
Yes.
will spend my time on road and I back to home at 4 o'clock.
Yes, very good.
I see gardener digging gardener.
Hmm.
Nobody see nobody.
Yes.
He his clothes is
Yes.
muddy and
Hmm.
nobody and nobody take him to taste.
What nobody?
I wish I could be a gardener
You
digging
explain me.
gardener at a whole day.
Hmm. Yes. So
At
nobody will ask
night,
him.
my mother sent me
No,
to
wait,
bed.
wait.
I see, I see through my.
Krishna.
Teacher, can I tell her?
Wait, Shams. Wait. You have explained me the
टीचर
first.
कहना है
Shams, wait. Shams, wait.
टीचर ऐसे
Talha, come on, start with the second stanza. Explain me
Yes,
fast.
yes, teacher.
टीचर
Hello.
Teacher, can
Yes,
I
Shaista,
tell
you can
her?
start the second one.
Teacher, can I tell her?
टीचर फर्स्ट से बोलना है
Whose network is good? Just wait. Just
हेलो टीचर
wait. Okay,
Teacher,
Talha,
can I
you
tell her?
explain the second one, and Shaista, you explain the third one. Second stanza.
यस
Talha, explain me the second stanza. Please don't talk and don't
Okay.
interrupt in the class.
Yes, teacher. Teacher, in this poem, the that boy is
Yes,
saying
Talha, I told you say
he
something.
can see the gardener. Teacher, second stanza.
Who's this now interrupting in between? Nobody will interrupt in between. Talha, you only say. Give me a
Yes,
summary of the
teacher.
second
Teacher,
paragraph,
in this
second stanza in the poem.
yes, teacher. In this poem, the boy he can see the gardener who is digging the ground. He likes to this.
Hmm.
He likes to spread his soil and his clothes with dust. Nobody
Hmm.
takes him to task. Teacher,
Hmm.
in this poem, the boy have only one thing to do.
Yes.
Only to do whole every thing to He don't have he have to take a permission from a mother. If he get baked in the
Hmm.
summer, gets wet. He wish I were a gardener digging away at the
Hmm.
garden with nobody to stop me from digging. Just as it